have seen some cases. This matter talks about Erastus Akingbala. You have that about James Iberi. You have so many cases which eventually some sort of conviction of sorts is gotten outside the shores of this country. You have people also say, because I mean, they say justice must not just be done; it must be seen to have been done. And so they should see the judiciary, the Nigerian judiciary, in a particular light. And so with those cases coming in close contact, I mean, they see this, they ask themselves, how come we're not able to do those here? But over there, it happens. So it just kind of erodes from a lot of people the kind of confidence they ordinarily would have in the judiciary.
Yes. You see, and one perspective, and on this note, I would seem to be siding with the judges, is what you call garbage in, garbage out. Like the Ibori case. The excuse given by the lawyers who handled it was that, look, they were given an impossible case to prosecute. The investigation was bad. The materials were not there. I mean, it's funny when I hear today that there are some persons claiming that the $15 million that was used was meant to bribe the chairman of EFCC then is money belonging to Delta State, even though that matter seemingly has been rested. But I remember vividly in those days of investigation that at some point in time, Delta State said no money was missing from its coffers. And it was a very big problem. EFCC was running around in Delta State chasing people around to try and get them to cooperate in the investigation. They wanted to get documents and all that. There was a case filed by some lawyers on behalf of Delta State to prevent the release of documents, to prevent the arrest and detention of public officials. And then now the money is in after the English court ruled against Ibori. And then, lo and behold, some people say the money belongs to Delta State. In as much as, I mean, we all know that this money ordinarily must have come from the coffers of Delta State. But where do you stand on the issue of that admission against interest, where they said, no, there's no money missing here? That was a statement made by supposedly responsible government officers in Delta State in those days. Now, in the light of all that, EFCC will do its investigation. Of course, those in EFCC, are they competent enough to conduct the kind of forensic investigation that will lead to a conviction? Then they packaged this, and then they took it to lawyers who were only interested in making their own money. They were not interested in the conviction. What is the percentage I'll get from this? Whether I win or I lose. That is a good thing for lawyers. So they went to court. And of course, even where the judge was not actuated by corrupt motives, the judge determined what was before him. Those are things that the average Nigerians will not understand, the technicalities.
You know, in all of this, another matter, maybe you should also shed more light in all of this. Now you're not a son.
Yes.
When you become a son,
by God's grace.
Yes, that's why I'm not using the if now. When you become a son,
yes,
does it affect your fee? Because now we're getting to see some things happening that, well, maybe the layman ordinarily wouldn't even try.
That very good question. It does. In the Nigerian context, we have a scale of charges. Nobody is enforcing it. That is, there's a scale of charges for services rendered, but it's not enforced. It's not enforceable. You have a why you can act within. I mean, even there, within the setup of senior advocates of Nigeria, there are even senior advocates. Some people say, no, that's a small son. I want a bigger son. And that is why people would kill to get the silk.
Wow.
I mean, it's now so very, very important that you become a senior advocate of Nigeria, so that your cases will go on, so that you can start charging exorbitantly. You can start asking for 500 million naira for a case that will finish in less than 6 months.
Well, let's take Mr. Taiwo. He joins us. Okay, we'll come back to you on that. But speaking about all of these matters, if they were to suggest then, because I know that some time ago, I think the AFCC was the one who mooted the idea that you had to, perhaps maybe lawyers, they investigate their accounts just to be sure that they're not using their accounts for money laundering and all of those charges. Would that be ideal, or would that be welcomed, for instance?
For me as a lawyer, there's nothing wrong. You probably would say, well, maybe because you are not earning the fat fees. Yeah, that's why. But if you have nothing to hide, why can't you allow EFCC to nose into your account statements? Let them have free access. Because really, I mean, even in the UK, Ibori's money was laundered by a lawyer, and the lawyer is in jail now. Why can't it be so with the Nigerian lawyer? If you have been found not to be above board in your dealings with your clients. I mean, recently there was hue and cry about one of the honorable gentlemen at the House of Assembly, Bajabi Amila, representing ACN from Lagos State. And they brought it up that, at some point in time, he faced disciplinary action in a U.S. court. And the man came out in the open that, yes, maybe I was a bit careless and all that. The papers were shown. The judge also looked at it and said, okay, you are going to have to refund the money. You are suspended for so long and all that. It is only the small fries that you have the disciplinary committee in Nigeria punishing. You don't even hear of the cases.
So in this case, if it were someone else, I mean, ordinarily, what should have happened about this matter?
You mean the Bajabi Amila matter?
Yeah.
No, it was in the US, not in Nigeria.
Oh, okay.
Nothing will happen in Nigeria. You are untouchable. When you get to that level in Nigeria, you are untouchable. But in the US, he practiced there, and something happened. I mean, I read through the whole everything. I went on the internet. He was punished. I mean, it was proportional to.
So you say sorry. So you say in Nigeria we haven't seen anything like that, whereby you're asked to refund such monies back to your client.
Where the disciplinary committee is working, where that happens, the Nigerian public, you don't get to hear about it. Rarely, you don't know that such things are going on. Okay. Because the press is not interested in that. They are not big political cases.